Any luck on getting my modulator back from Joran? I don't think anyone here will be able to help me. Excellent. How did you deal with Joran?
It has to be someone near their camp, and no one else lives around them. You might be right, but I doubt it. Are they turning on their own? Typical. That's about all I know. I've never seen the thief clearly. Do you have any idea who it is? Really? So it isn't a salvager. Well, the war affected different people different ways. Is she gonna be all right? I guess I had it all wrong. I thought those salvagers were to blame. Look, if you see her again, tell her maybe we can work something out. I need help on my farm. She's already shown she knows something about farming equipment. I know a lot of people that need a second chance right about now. Here's your reward. Finally, I can get back to work.
Hello there. You haven't had any new troubles, I hope. All right.
Insorana kami gunso Chuta kokpa.
It's you again. You want something? You really should talk to Baroon about general questions.
I hope that you haven't run into any difficulties you couldn't deal with. Is there anything else I can assist you with?
Halt, settler. This is a restricted area. How the hell did you get through the Kinrath? You should leave. He's a Jedi Master? Well, the bounty's gonna be that much sweeter then. Nar Shaddai's paying extremely well for Jedi, especially if they're alive. I'm gonna say this nice and simple for your little calf-herding head. Unless you want to wind up dead, leave now. I warned you, but I'm glad you didn't listen. Attack, men!
Always rushing into action without thinking of the consequences. What? You're expecting thanks? Khoonda is in danger, and you've ruined the best chance of averting a full-scale conflict. When an opponent believes that you are defeated, they no longer consider you a threat, and they relax their guard, become bold. After I was captured, they talked freely of their plans, enough for me to learn their intentions. I need to get to Khoonda and warn them. They could be attacked at any moment. The mercenaries have allied themselves with the Exchange and are planning to attack Khoonda. They've been holding off for the right moment. And now, since they lost their captive Jedi, they'll attack immediately. I'm going to try to reach Administrator Adari. Time is of the essence.
You are the Jedi I've heard reports of, and I am Azkul, leader of the mercenaries on Dantooine. That is correct, and I want you to help me. According to my reports, I have 4 times as many soldiers as the militia, and I'm committed to taking Khoonda. It is inevitable that I will succeed. If you wish to avoid my men eradicating the people of Dantooine, you will make it easier for me to take Khoonda. Of course, I will pay well for your services. There are many ways someone with your abilities can aid us. Before the action begins, I have 2 main tasks in mind for you. Disable the gun turrets and the traps. When the militia learns of our attack, they will plant traps around the entrances to Khoonda. Disable them. Decide quickly. I have a slaughter to plan. Deal with the turrets, however you see fit. Just keep them from pestering my men. Decide quickly. I have a slaughter to plan. You'd better reconsider. I can't have a Jedi interfering with my plans. There is a considerable bounty on your kind that I will collect on unless you're working for me.
You could have guided the situation to a better outcome.
I applaud your conviction. A lesser person might have deceived these brutes to avoid battle.
Men, I trust you can handle this Jedi.
What is it?
Yes?
What is it?
I don't suppose you're here to hide. What if we do? They're... Everything's dangerous. Duel of mercenary.
What? Who is that? Oh, it's you. You were really helpful. What do you want? Certainly. Take your time. Look through the pile. What? You... What? You... Certainly.
Ah, the traveler has returned. I hope the Dantooine is providing suitable distraction and entertainment for you. So, what shall we talk about?
It's you again. Thanks for helping me out down there. I really hope the Jedi salvage you bought was worth it. I meant what I said about no returns, though. I need the money to go home. But it's nice to see you again, regardless.
Do you need a hand? No, I don't. Go back to your training. I'll call you if I need someone useless. Is there some problem? I was only offering to help. Problem? No, no problem. Just wondering how long you're planning to stick around. For as long as she needs me, of course. How heroic of you. Well, she doesn't need you. In fact, we were doing just fine until you showed up. Actually, there are times when it seems you could use some help. Always with the details, aren't you? You can't fool me. You have some agenda, spying on her, always keeping your eye on her. No, I don't. I simply admire her. She has many qualities worthy of respect, and a strength that matches her beauty. Surely you've noticed. Yeah, and I noticed first. Get it? So cut it out. And another thing, stop being all noble around her in your big hero way. She sees right through your little act. She likes honest guys, not guys who run around being unselfish and heroic all the time. I thought she was the hero. The more worlds we travel to, the more questions I have. It's not just the hardships of the people, but something more. You are right, but there is something more at work here. Yes, these dead worlds, they have a pattern to them. They were all touched by the Mandalorian Wars and the Jedi Civil War. But sometimes, I feel as if they are all connected in some other way. The attacks on KOTOR, Telos itself, the decay on Dantooine. Something is wrong with life. The connections have been damaged, sickened. Sometimes I feel like I almost understand and then it just slips away.
So close.
Perhaps. Dantooine is only one of the worlds. It was only the start of the journey. I would like to study the other locations. It is curious that the Jedi Masters chose those worlds to travel to. I wonder if the two are linked, but I know not how.
My life for yours. I am able to serve. If we enter battle, I will fight and die alongside you. I have not heard that question in some time. My flesh is healed if that's the answer you seek. I know. And I fear that others will see the mercy in your actions, and in my survival, and use it as a weapon to do you greater harm. I serve my master. I am an emissary, a scout. My master was aware of a disturbance in the Force, but was unaware of its nature, of you. The disturbance is not something one feels from a living thing. There is little my master does not know, and that you eluded his sight for so long is significant. But I do not know why. I felt you, heard you through the Force. It was like a sound at the edge of hearing. And when I heard it, I found I could not ignore it. I will answer what I can, but my answers may prove useless to you. I am not familiar with the place you speak of. My master has not entered Republic space for some time, but there are others who may move more freely, who may have been responsible for such an act of destruction. There are many factions within the Sith, all seeking to take what little remains in the wake of the Jedi Civil War. Where one moves, it is not always known to the others. But their purpose is the same: the death of all Jedi, everywhere. They believe you are the last of the Jedi, and their hatred of the Jedi unites them. All their eyes are upon you, and it is a terrible, quiet darkness that pursues you. I will answer what I can. My people once had the power to perceive events, to see through the Force. That sight may manifest itself in many ways, and at times, I may affect the abilities of others to see as well. My sight has been damaged. What I have taught you, it is not the full extent of the perceptions of my people. My master, he has crippled me. I have seen the galaxy as it truly is, and it has left its mark. It is not something I can explain, for the words are difficult. I only ask that you understand. I will answer what I can. It is not a subject which I have spoken of since its destruction. The planet was not destroyed. It remains. It orbits, dead in space. But nothing lives on its surface. It echoes, but there's no one left to hear it. I've heard tales of Malachor. It is said that many of my people felt the end of the Mandalorian Wars from across the galaxy. But do not mistake me. I did not mean to draw comparisons between KOTOR and Malachor. My homeworld still exists. It is intact. I am not certain I did. I was there when the planet died. To see everything around you extinguished, it was as if I was blinded. It was as if the Force had been bled from the world. I imagine there are worse deaths, worse pain. But if there are, I do not know them. I was the only living thing remaining on the planet of KOTOR. And my life, my agony, was a flicker in the darkness that was the planet. All that I had been connected to had been severed. Yes, but it was not survival. I still wonder what would have happened if I had died with the others. If perhaps there would have been some way to hide my presence from the galaxy. If only I had not felt that pain, that loss, as strongly as I did. But it could not be done. When the life was bled from the planet, and yet somehow I remained, my master came for me. He walked upon the surface of my dead world, and there, lying in the bodies of my race, he took me for his own, and he made me see. And for the first time I saw the galaxy, and I wished to die. To this galaxy, my world, absent the currents and spectrums of the Force, was nothing but crude matter, rock, flesh, emptiness. He showed the flickering of life on other planets, the mass of beings that swarm through the empty places of the galaxy. To see such creatures, disconnected from themselves, their world, their place in it, unable to see the currents and how they affected everything around them. He showed me to make me believe in his cause. He convinced me the galaxy, all life, must die. He fed upon its ugliness, its screaming, and in its place, he left silence. And where there was chaos, he brought stillness and order. It was not a thing done with machines or weapons. The Force is far more terrible, and it touches more lives than any machine can hope to slay. For everyone that feels the Force, strongly, deeply, each one feels and perceives it in their own way. You have strengths, whether you know it or not, and my master has his. His power is great, and it comes from hunger. He is a wound in the Force, more presence than flesh. And in his wake, life dies, sacrificing itself to his hunger. And those who feel the Force strongly are beacons to his hunger. My people, my planet, would have been attacked in time. It was inevitable. Yet we could do nothing about it. The Jedi, the last council of the Jedi, came to our world to meet in secret. They hoped that perhaps among our people, they could achieve the clarity to see what was striking them from the darkness of the galaxy. They succeeded, but only in bringing him from the outer regions. And KOTOR, with my kind, with the Jedi upon its surface, could no longer be ignored. And my people died, and the Jedi died, and there was no one left, only me. They hoped to see the threat that had been stalking them, and they did. But they were unprepared for the magnitude of the threat. He cannot deny his hunger for long, and any gathering of Jedi is something he cannot long resist. And now that the Jedi are vanishing, I do not know what will happen. Perhaps he will grow strong enough to eradicate all life, merely with his presence. I will answer what I can. Forgive me, but before you go, I must ask. Why do you do this? Why do you seek to help me? Teach me? You must not do this. I cannot allow you to weaken yourself for me. So you say, but it is not something I have observed or seen. I remember little of my homeworld before I entered my master's service. It is not as it was. There is little left of such memories, or the planet itself. It is not a subject which... I will answer what I can.
I see you have found the elusive Master Rook. He's told me that his rescue complicated our situation to some degree. I can't say that I anticipated that. I thank you for finding him, though. Rook has informed me that the mercenaries devised a plan of attack to annihilate Khoonda itself. I must ask for your aid again, Jedi. Zeron says that even with a plan, the mercenaries have to gather their forces, then coordinate their assault. So we still have time. I'm afraid the militia has not been adequately trained for the task that befalls them. Right now, just us and the militia. I don't want to create a needless panic. But be assured I will make sure that all civilians are warned in time so they can get to safety. Though if we lose this battle, nowhere on Dantooine will be safe for settlers for long. Our militia is effective at peacekeeping, but isn't prepared for a full-scale battle. If you can do anything to ready them for the reality of it, that would be helpful. Besides that, look around Khoonda and see what you can do to strengthen our defenses. I know that we don't have the perimeter turrets online, and that alone could make a significant difference. Zeron says there is a considerable chance they will breach Khoonda itself. Anything you can do to slow them down could turn the tide of battle. I have instructed the militia and other Khoonda personnel that you are to be provided with anything that can be spared. Unfortunately, that isn't much. Here is a MasterCard key that will open all of the security doors inside Khoonda. Anything that might aid you in your task, please use. Soon, all the civilians will be evacuated. So if you have any business with them, I suggest you take care of it. Whenever you are ready to finalize the defenses, talk with Zeron.
Zeron was right about the mercenaries all along. I guess my ego clouded my judgment as to what's best.
인솔하나 가메곤 서지? 가로노마. 르투티.
The gun turret malfunctioned. Hurt us bad. Thanks, stranger. I should be back to duty in no time. The gun... Thanks, stranger. Thanks, stranger. I feel better. Thanks.
Hey, get away from that door! The last time somebody messed with it, it was locked down for months before we could fix it.
You heard what the administrator said. Each of us has to do what they can to aid in the defense of Khoonda. See where you can lend a hand. We'll have time to talk more when this is all over.
I was right about you. You are trouble, but you might just be the right sort of trouble we need. The mercenaries aren't quick to mobilize. so you have time to do what you need? Or are you ready to finalize the defense plans? I don't know if it's certain. It could be a day or even a week. Depends on how good Azkul is at organizing his men. I'm guessing not so good. We could use people handy with a blaster. Getting people to join the militia for a short stint would be good. We also got a lot of things that could use fixing. It isn't glamorous, but that type of work sometimes makes a load of difference. Just look around. Plenty to be done. Off the top of my head, the 3 turrets outside Khoonda are on the blink. They went haywire the other day and wounded some of my men, so we took them offline. The men who were wounded by the turrets are holed up in the med lab, but our medic droid is busted, so they're healing slowly. I've had some men lay traps around Khoonda, but nobody here really specializes in demolitions. I'm sure there's some gaps that could be filled. The side security door to Khoonda has been malfunctioning as long as I've been here. It may be best to just seal it off lockdown so nobody gets through. We got some broken assault droids that have been collecting dust for the last 5 years. If they were working, it would help a lot with interior defense. If I had it my way, I'd recruit any citizen of Khoonda that can hold a blaster. But it's hard to convince peaceful farmers to fight, maybe die for a cause. When you're ready, come back and we can talk about the final plans to defend Khoonda.
Thanks for the help. I plan on going back to the farm shortly. Since you're asking me, I suppose I could. I figure I still owe you for helping me with my thief problem. Zeron has asked me several times before to join the militia, so I expect he's going to be very pleased.
Jenish melaka wachino so impos morcha chani rikasan. Wala kun biski. Ritu ting mipa. Chi.
Welcome back to Khoonda. How can I help you?
You'll find little welcome here, Jedi. I will answer your questions. Yeah, I guess so. I'm not too fond of my job, but it's better than the job I'd have if the Mercs took over. I'll report to Zeron for militia duty.
Charanana gundoso remina ke lorak de kurukata. Charanana gundoso remina ke lorak de kurukata. Fiorator. Terewana jun konata della raguno antuna. Dai rinto ron kavre kare papanala ranshinga. Terache women. Der rinto ron to wakavre kwe wap gerebu. Nenso telepachan korsada nane gra dalonota choloren. Terewana jun konata della raguno antuna. Dai rinto run kavre kare papanala ranshinga. Terache wemenoto to rere senesenten. Der rinto run to wakavre kwe wap gerebu. Nenso telepachan korsada nane gra dalonota choloren. Terewana jun konata della raguno antuna. Dai Der rinto run to wakavre kwe wap gerebu. Nenso telepachan korsada nane gra dalonota.
You were really helpful. You aren't serious, are you? I'll assume it's a joke, because you don't look that dumb. No, I won't join any flaming militia.
It's you again. Thanks for helping me out down there. I really hope the Jedi salvage you bought was worth it, but it's nice to see you again regardless. I hadn't even thought of that. I know the militia will take just about anyone. I need the credits and would like working with people who'll actually watch your back. Well, I want to think it through, but I think I might just go to Khoonda and sign up. Thanks for the idea.
Ah, the traveler has returned. So, what shall we talk about? I have no real desire to put myself in harm's way for Dantooine. They haven't exactly made the salvager's stay here pleasant.
You saved Jaren, huh? Hope the reward was worth it for saving that sad excuse for a salvager.
I don't suppose you're here to hire us.
Can I help you?
You get tired of clearing out the calf hounds from our perimeter.
Thanks for helping out the militia.
Pidän kelpavan innokan.
Yeah? Set and activated. 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 Set and activated.
I hear you.
Insoranaka me gonso. Chutako.
trouble, but you might just be the right sort of trouble we need. The mercenaries aren't quick to mobilize, so you have time to do what you need. Or are you ready to finalize the defense plans? That's good to hear. Fill me in on the details when you're ready to finalize our battle plans. You sure? Once we're done with that, there may not be any time left before the mercenaries attack. All right, then we got a lot to do.
Since you are here to bolster Khoonda's defense, I will hurry to the mercenary camp and delay their assault however I can.
I imagine that the mercenaries have got two goals in this whole thing. Kill me and kill the administrator. The rest of the settlers won't have courage to resist if they succeed. The administrator's locked up in her office tight, which means that the mercs have to go through us and Khoonda's defenses. It isn't gonna be easy. I suspect we're gonna have to fight on the inside. They've got 3 entrances they're gonna try and break in. Here's the front door, the security door on the side, and the garage door in back. We got 3 squads of militia. We can assign people to the front, back, or inside. Backside has to guard 2 entrances. The front will have to fight more people, and the inside will have to deal with any that break through. So, where do you think the first squad should be deployed? First squad is most experienced. The only squad that could go blaster to blaster against the mercs. Second squad has a lot of passion, but no experience. Third squad is new and not trained too well, and they may break in combat. They need a good leader to make them effective. So, where do you think the first squad should be deployed? The battles that had the least dying were always led by Jedi. I'm gonna go with what you think. Where do you want the second squad? First squad is the most experienced. The only squad that could go blaster to blaster against. Third squad is fresh recruits and not trained too well, and they may break in combat. They need a good leader to make them effective. Where do you want the second squad? All right, where do you want the third squad, the new recruits? Fine by me. The last question is, where do you want to go? Either the front or the back. I'll take whichever one you don't. That way both sides have leadership. That's what I was thinking too. The main group of mercenaries will be coming through there. Probably be good to put our best soldier there. Once the fighting starts, you gotta stay in your area. We both have to guard our half of the battlefield. Come over to me and the mercs will just charge straight into Khoonda. Thanks to you, they're gonna have a tougher job. That's about it. Now we just need to dig in and wait for the mercs to come. Well, I'll tell them what's there to do. I'm not much for words. All right, I'll assemble the men. I hope you can speak good. You're much better with words than me. I think it'll really help. Let's get ready for the mercenaries. If we fall here, all of Dantooine falls with us.
Tell me what you see, soldier.
They're mobilizing the militia. Looks like a lot of activity down there.
They've been warned. It won't be of any use. The plan doesn't change. Captains, prepare your men. Their leader, Administrator Tarina, must not survive the battle. Everything else is secondary to that objective.
We've lost too many soldiers. Fall back inside.
So you're the Jedi. I take it you are responsible for the surprises we've had during this battle. Stand aside. Our quarrel is with a distinguished administrator. This isn't your problem. Then you've allied with these flaming settlers. The galaxy doesn't tolerate weakness. I was trained at Malak's Academy. Your tricks won't work on me. You're just another dead Jedi to me.
Sorry I was held up, but it looks like I've arrived in time to pull you out of your predicament.
Kill them all.
Thank you so much for your aid. You can be sure that Dantooine will not forget how the Jedi protected us from this place. We are a humble community, and this conflict has greatly diminished our resources. I hope this reward will be sufficient. I am humbled by your generosity. I will put this to good use. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have much work to do. Dantooine will be slow to rebuild, but I am confident now that we will one day achieve prosperity.
Khoonda is safe in no small part due to you. I feel certain that the Administrator wouldn't have made it without your assistance. I may have misjudged you. In any case, I am free to talk about whatever you wish. Because you defied the Council and followed Revan to war. And from that war came another. Do you know how many worlds were destroyed in those wars? Dantooine, Telos, Sirocco? Do you see now why we counseled caution instead of action? You were the only one to come back and face judgment. But that was because you had lost your connection to the Force. Another casualty of war. No doubt you still blame us for your exile. I had hoped your isolation would give you time to reflect on what had happened, what you had done. But I see it as not. You have more questions for me? There are a few of us left, but I do not even know if the others still live. We may be the last. We've been forced to divide our forces and retreat to places which will be difficult for our enemies to detect and attack. We have chosen to hide our presences from each other, so that the discovery of one will not endanger the others. We cannot, and we have resolved not to until we have found where the Sith are striking from. But even as our numbers thin, there is still no trace of them. We had hoped to outmaneuver them, by letting them believe themselves victorious. We thought they would become bold and step from the shadows. Then, all of us who remained vowed to meet here on Dantooine. From here we can plan a course of action and carry the battle to them. But so far they remain in hiding, and Jedi continue to vanish and die. You have more questions for me? We were not in hiding, despite what you believe. This threat is striking through the Force. There's a reason that we cannot detect it. It is somehow masking its presence from us. I do not know. There are techniques in the Force that hide one's presence and thoughts from other Force users. But I do not believe that such techniques alone would be capable of hiding the enemies we face. It does not seem possible. Jedi sanctuaries, places of learning, conclaves, many of them secret, have been attacked. That requires that our enemy knew of our whereabouts. or had access to records and holocrons from the Enclave here on Dantooine. There was much Jedi teaching buried here before the planet was attacked. In the hands of our enemies, such knowledge could be used to track and kill Jedi, find other enclaves, gathering places. And so much has been plundered from here that now many secrets of the Jedi have been spread throughout the galaxy. So I did what I could, attempting to let myself be captured. I hoped that it would lead me to the Sith and the stolen artifacts. The Sith attacked this place once, and only they would seek the death of the Jedi with such obsession, and be able to be as successful as they have. But the destruction of Dantooine, it is difficult to sense the presence of any Force users here. If any Sith are here, I cannot detect them. Yes, perhaps I wish to see this place one more time. It has changed much, as I knew it had, but I had to see it for myself. You have more questions for me? We did nothing to you. Accuse us if you will, but it will not change the truth. Cutting one off from the Force. Such punishments are reserved for only a few. Although it was within our power, we did not inflict such a loss upon you. Your loss was a casualty of war, no more. Perhaps it is Dantooine, but I do not feel such from you. I feel nothing but what I felt in the Council Judgment Chamber on Coruscant so long ago. Still, you and your connections were often a subject of debate in the Council. It is possible that returning to known space, journeying with others, has caused the Force to stir within you again. You have more questions for me? Have they? I've seen no evidence of them upon Dantooine. Only murderers and raiders. Why would they attack you? You are no Jedi. You cannot feel the Force. Perhaps it is Dantooine. Still, you and your... It is possible that returning to known space, journeying with others, has caused the Force to stir within you again. Though it seems unlikely the Sith would bother with you. For some reason, I believe you. Still, I am curious as to how they would know to find you. Your trial was not public knowledge. Regardless, these Sith have struck, and you survived. This is more knowledge than I had before. And that means the Jedi may gather. If you can find others, or find some trace of the Sith threat, then we shall gather here on Dantooine. And from there we may decide what can be done. You have more questions for me? Force bonds? Yes. It is the bond that grows between master and student. Are you saying you have bonded with another? Such bonds normally grant strength to both, but not to such a degree. Are you certain? Perhaps it is merely what you believe. Still, your ability to form such connections, to influence others, was always a subject of discussion, even when you were a student here. Perhaps it is a punishment of a sort. But a bond that ties two lives together, such bonds do not seem natural to me. And with your loss of connection to the Force, it seems such a connection would be impossible. Perhaps it is Dantooine. Still, it is possible that returning to... You have more questions for me? You have seen the end of your trial? Perhaps you would like to explain how you came to this knowledge. That was intended only for the Jedi Council. If what remains of the Council chooses to tell you, then I will abide by their decision and its consequences. There is little I can tell you. Master Kavar felt something had happened to you in the war, but all he had was suspicions, not truths. And Kavar was too close to you in any event. He, too, felt the call of war and took to battle more than a Jedi should. His speculations would not help you now, but enough of this. It is knowledge for the Council alone until they choose to reveal it. You have more questions for me? I suppose there is something I should show you. It will keep you alive long enough to prove useful. I'm only going to demonstrate this once. This is the Sheen form, a defensive stance that's good when you're outnumbered, which is most of the time. This form will increase your ability to deflect blaster fire, and it increases the odds of dealing critical strikes against your attackers. I don't know how you learned that so quickly. Still, your form is sloppy. Keep practicing to tighten it up and you'll be fine.
That was some intense fighting. I'm glad we both made it through, and the mercenaries didn't.